This is what we're looking at Friday, and we're going to be looking at a combination of volume and surface area. So going to start with number 1. It says to find the volume of each figure, so we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to start with my formula, substitute, solve. So the formula for the volume of a cone is V equals 1/3 capital B times H. So when we go to our substitution, we know that capital B is the area of the base. So capital B, the area of the base, so we have 1/3 and then pi times radius squared. So that's going to be this portion right here. So, but we know that our radius is now, rather than writing radius, we're going to be able to write this 8 here. So I'm going to turn this R into an 8, okay, times the height, which is 16 over here. So we have 1, I'm going to turn my height into 16. So now we have 1/3 times pi times 8 squared times 16. And so in your calculator, you can type that out. And we should land at the volume equals 1072.3. 172.3, which lands us at answer choice B. Okay. Number 2, we have a cylinder. So our formula is going to be V equals area of the base times the height, capital B. So if we have, again, so if we have the area of our base, so our base is a circle, so that's going to be pi times radius squared. So again, our radius equals 8, so I'm going to take my R and I'm going to turn it into an 8. And then when I type that out in the calculator, pi times 8 squared, we get 201.06, but we're going to round that to 0.1. Hold on one second. That's 201. I got to multiply that times, look at that, I forgot. Sorry, I'm going to go back. So we're going to have to multiply that by 12. I was thinking that looked a little wrong, so let's go ahead and erase that. So this right here was the 201.1 times 12. So that leaves us at 2,412.7. All right, there we go. Number 2. Just wanted to, so this is the pi r squared. That is the base, area of the base. Okay, number 3. So this says a cylinder with a diameter of 14 inches and a height of 8 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my picture. Okay, so we have a cylinder, and it has a diameter of 14 inches and a height of 8 inches. So formula, substitute, solve. Cylinder again, which is V equals capital B, area of the base, times the height. So what we're going to do with capital B, we have pi times radius squared, because that's the area of the base. So B, area of the base here, times the height. So our radius equals half of 14. So right here we have 14 as diameter, so our radius is going to be 7. So I'm going to take my radius and turn it into a 7 here. And then our height is 8. I'm going to turn my h into an 8. And then we have V equals pi times 7 squared times 8. 1, 2, 3, 1.5. All right, our next one, number 4, we have a sphere, so I'm just going to draw a circle, and it has a radius of 3 kilometers. So, formula, substitute, solve. We have our formula, V equals 4/3 pi radius cubed. So, when we substitute, we got 4/3 times pi times the radius, which is 3 cubed. So you could individually multiply these, but in your calculator, it's easy enough to put it all into the calculator at once. So to get a fraction on your calculator, you push alpha y equals, and then you can type in your 4/3, and then arrow over, times pi, times 3, and then you're going to use the caret button and raise it to the 3rd power. And that leaves us at 113.1 kilometers cubed. Answer choice C. Okay, so those are our first 4. So those were all dealing with volume. So we're going to switch gears, and now we're going to be finding the surface area. So now we have the surface area. And again, remembering that unless it says lateral surface area, we're going to be finding total surface area. So our first that we have is, our first formula that we have is the surface area formula total of a cylinder, which is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. And then we have our numbers here. So this 9 is our height, and this 7 is our radius. So we got 2 times pi times 7 times 9 plus 2 times pi times radius 7 squared. So all in your calculator, you just type it all out. 2 times pi times 7 times 9 plus 2 times pi times 7 squared. And we land at surface area of the cylinder equals 703.7. Answer choice C. Okay, number 6. So on this one, we're finding the total surface area. So formula, substitute, solve. We have the surface area equals, so now we're looking at a prism, so we have a different formula. We have capital P times H plus 2 times capital B. So remembering that each of these, so P stands for the perimeter of the base, the height of the prism, plus 2 times the area of the base. So we're going to have, this is our missing info, is our capital P, capital B, and H. So let's go ahead. In order to find the perimeter of the base, we need to know which base it is. So again, you can choose whichever base you would like, but I am personally going to choose this one right here, right down here. So I have this right here. I'm shading this one here at the bottom. And since there's 2 of them, we can look at them both so we can see that there's 2 congruent bases. And so when I draw, so if I were to outline this right here, if I were to lasso it up, so if I were to just drag my base off of here, okay, so I took that and I, so here's it shaded again. So I can look up at the top. So this one here, I should have done that one because it has my numbers already labeled on it. So we can see that it's 7 and 12 across. So to find the perimeter, we're going to walk around the outside. So 7 plus 12 plus 7 plus 12. So that looks like it's going to be 19 plus 19, which is going to be 38. Oh, I'm right, my pen. 38. And then the area of our base is going to be the length times the width, or the base times the height. 7 times 12 will give us 84. And then the height of our prism is the number that connects our two bases. So right here we have the number, our two bases are connected by that 11. So now we have all of our missing info and we can substitute it accordingly. So our capital P is 38 times the height is 11 plus 2 times the area of the base. The area of the base is 84. So you can type that out. 38 times 11 plus 2 times 84 lands us at surface area equals 586 inches squared. All right. Number 7. This says a cylinder. I'm going to just go ahead and draw my cylinder so I can picture it. My cylinder with a radius of 7 miles and a height of 12 miles. Okay. So my formula, substitute, solve. My formula for a cylinder is going to be surface area equals 2 times pi times radius times height plus 2 times pi times radius squared. So we know our radius is 7 and our height is 12, so I can take those numbers and substitute them accordingly. So 2 times pi times 7 times 12 plus 2 times pi times 7 squared. So go ahead and type that out. 2 times pi times 7 times 12 plus 2 times pi times 7 squared. And it's easiest to just type it all out at the same time. And that lands us at the answer of 835.66, which would round to 0.7 miles squared. And number 8, we have a rectangular prism measuring 4 miles and 9 miles along the base and 3 miles tall. Okay, I'm going to just test my drawing skills really quickly. So we have, let's see here, if I can draw a decent This is really hard to draw. Okay. All right. It's close. So we have a rectangular prism. It says it measures 4 miles and 9 miles along the base, and it is 3 miles high. So what we can do is we can put our 3 over here, so that makes it a little bit easier. So if we chose this right here as our base, here, and this as our base, so there's multiple ways you could look at this problem. Hopefully I'm doing it right. So formula, substitute, solve. So for a prism, we have the surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height, plus 2 times the area of the base. So our missing info, again, is the perimeter of the base, the area of the base, and the height of the prism. So I'm going to redraw my base that I highlighted in pink, and I can label it accordingly. So 3, so we have our 3, our 4, our 3, our 4 over here. So the perimeter, again, we're going to walk around. So 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3, so that's 7 plus 7, which is 14. And then the area of our base is going to be 4 times 3, which is 12. And then the height of our prism is going to be the number that's connecting our two bases. So that's then green. That's going to be 9. So from here, we can take our numbers that we just found, that I just put a box around, into our formula like so. 14 times the height, which is 9, plus 2 times the area of the base, which was 12. So 14 times 9 plus 2 times 12. That lands us at S equals 150 miles squared. All right. And we have 2 more problems. So just like I said before, now we have our finding lateral surface area. So our lateral surface area for a cylinder is going to be formula, substitute, solve, is surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height. No, sorry. For a cylinder, I am saying the wrong one. The cylinder is going to be 2 times pi times radius times... I'm messing this up. 2 for a cylinder, 2 times pi times radius times height. Okay, and then, so remembering that this is like, if we were to unfold this, we would have our circle on the top, circle on the bottom. And the lateral surface area is just this middle portion here. So we know our height is 8. We can see that there. And then 12 is the diameter, so we're going to have to cut that in half. So 2 times pi times half of 12 is 6 times 8. 2 times pi times 6 times 8. We get S equals 301.59, so that rounds to 0.6 meters squared. And number 10, we have formula, substitute, solve. We're finding lateral surface area of a cylinder. So we have surface area equals 2 times pi times radius times height. So we have our radius is 1 and our height is 6. So we can substitute those in. 2 times pi times the radius is 1 times the height is 6. So 2 times pi, 6.28, times 1 times 6. So that lands us at the answer 37.69, which would round to 37.7 feet